whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel.
Closing
this
arguments
channel,
are underway in the assault trial for actor Jonathan
All right?
Majors.
The
I'll holla.
34-year-old is being
Peace.
accused of assault and harassment by his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. The judge presiding over the case has released evidence, including surveillance video, 911 tapes, photos, and police body camera footage. Majors has pleaded not guilty to the charges, claiming Jabari was the aggressor.
CBS News New York reporter John Diaz has been following this trial. He joins us now with more. John, it's interesting because it's an assault trial with Majors facing the charges, but the allegations are flying both ways. Talk to us about the strategy that you've seen unfold in this case.
Yeah, good afternoon to both of you. Well, we can tell you, it seems like an attack, right? Both two sides of the stories of the parties, they're really trying to paint a different picture of the opposite two people, right? You have Jabari saying that he was the abuser, saying that he actually abused her for months leading up to that altercation that happened on March 25th. But then you have Jonathan Majors, him too kind of playing victim, saying that, they did get into an argument, but it was, evidence pointing to that after that argument, his former girlfriend, Jabari, actually went out and continued to party. She said that he fractured her finger, but then he has video surveillance showing her out at a club later on that evening, using her finger freely, partying the night away. So really, it's a kind of an attack ad on both sides of this story, just really trying to paint a negative picture of both of them.
Meanwhile, the judge is releasing some of that video evidence to the public. Why is that happening?
Yeah, I guess just trying to, paint, to show people, since this is such a high-profile case, they're trying to show everyone everything that led up to all this and what everything went down, just because, the public really has so much to say about this, especially since he's such a high-profile person, so big in Hollywood, an up-and-coming actor. So they really want to release as much evidence as possible.
Now, we know that Majors chose not to testify in this trial. The accuser, Jabari, did. How effective were either of those approaches, I wonder?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer there, but it seems like, Major himself, his, lawyers and things like that, they are looking at it as the evidence speaks for itself, right? They have all these different images. They have, yes, her fractured finger as well, but they also have those 911 calls, right? It looks like Majors was doing the right thing by calling 911, trying to get help for his then at the time girlfriend. They have the police body camera footage that showed her in the closet of their home that they shared at the time in Chelsea here in the city. So really, he's trying to say, hey, look at this evidence. It speaks for itself. I did nothing wrong here in this case. So he might be thinking, why should I testify? Why should I go under oath?
We'll see what the jury decides in the end. John Diaz, great to get that update for you from Lower Manhattan.
All right, family, welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays, the hottest live stream here in the cosmos of YouTube, Facebook, and on Periscope. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Thank you for joining me. And we have my brother, my friend, author of The Man Crisis, Shawn James. Shawn, good evening.
Good evening, Gavin. How are you?
Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm doing fine. I'm doing good, man. I'm living right now. Also, I just wanted to check on you. How are y'all holding up? Because there was a shooting I heard out on the Upper East Side of New York.
Here in the Bronx, we're all right, but I don't usually go outside downtown anymore. I don't go out that much anymore.
How far was that from you? You know,
It's a good long distance from me. I mean, usually
so
takes
you were
about
okay.
45 minutes to an hour to get to Manhattan. So I have not been in Manhattan in close to a year.
Oh, okay. Do you even go outside, Sean? Damn.
I go out. I go out because most of the stuff I want to get to is in the Bronx. So I
Okay.
haven't been to Manhattan in a good year and a half. I have not been downtown, but there's not much to go to downtown anymore because all the places I used to go now are
Right.
closed.
Right. Well, I hear you on that. If you want to promote something right now, you can right quick.
All right, if you guys want a great gift for your family or yourself, you can pick up some of the books on the SJS Direct catalog, which features a lot of great positive Black fiction and some great nonfiction. You can find it all on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And you can also find it at other online booksellers like Smashwares, the iBookstore, Google Play for digital, and Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Target for paperbacks.
Right. Okay, cool. And for anyone listening, this is what I was talking about.
Killed was wanted
A
for a
suspect
shooting
was
on the Upper
killed
East
in
Side. When officers tried to arrest
the
him,
Lower East
police say
Side.
he shot at the officers and they
There was a
returned
shootout,
fire, killing him.
barricade.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon
I
at
was
the
a little
scene with the
worried.
breaking news
I didn't know where
tonight.
it was. It's put on ABC, and I thought of Sean.
PD officials just described at a press conference what
So
led to all of this.
it seems like a shootout with the police that went wrong for the shooter,
Edwards was wanted
right?
Yeah.
He was wanted for murder.
in a shooting nearly
I'm gonna
2
just play
months
this right
ago,
quick.
and they've been looking for him ever since. They found him here at around 11:45 this morning on Eldridge Street at a woman's apartment where he went into a bathroom armed and refused to come out. Neighbors shared video on Citizen of the massive presence that followed as a negotiation team went in, and police brought in a drone and other robotic technology to try to see him better, to protect themselves too when they tried to convince him to come out.
A lot of the technology wasn't really helping him out the way they needed it. And he actually rendered some of the technology useless. The Scout, he threw something on top of the Scout, which immobilized it. The drone, he actually swatted the drone out of the air with a broom. They also tried to use a pole camera. I don't think I said that. They tried to use a pole camera, but they couldn't get the pole camera in. And then when they came with the Avatar, that's when he came out and started shooting.
Yeah, police showed the technology they used, as well as a tactical shield and vest that were struck with bullets when they say Edwards opened fire, shooting at them 4 times, and they returned fire. He was pronounced dead at Bellevue Hospital. Now, Edwards was wanted in a shooting outside a bar on the Upper East Side back on October 18th. A 32-year-old man was shot in the leg after a fight outside Iggy's bar
Well,
on
I'm gonna
2nd
finish.
Avenue
Hold on, I'll
at
finish.
East 76th Street. And again, police have been
I want
looking
to
for
move
him
on to
ever
something
since.
else
They got a
real quick.
warrant for his arrest about 2 days
So
after that
basically, what it
shooting.
looks
But
like,
until today, they say he was hard
he had a
to
warrant
find.
for
They
his
said
arrest
they did everything
for
they could
shooting
to
out in
arrest him
October.
without anybody getting hurt,
He
but that he
refused, obviously,
refused to
according to the police,
cooperate.
to
They
cooperate,
negotiated with him for
which
about
is
2.5
where
hours this
the
afternoon
shootout
before
started.
this deadly shooting. And now the department's Force Investigation Division is.
So, Sean, I don't know if you have any comment on it. I don't know too much about it, so I don't comment because I don't know.
No, I don't have much to say about it, but that's just another day in New York. It seems like they gave him a ticket or something, and it turned into a warrant because he didn't show up. But that's typical of the bail reform policies here in New York. And it sounds like Pookie he didn't want to show up for court. He got a warrant.
But
They
we
were
don't know
looking
if he's
for him.
black.
I don't know. Well, I call all these criminals Pookies.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that he didn't show up for court. He got a warrant. They went looking for him. And then this turned into a shootout. It happens a lot here in New York.
It looks like well, just so his name, everybody will know, the suspect's name is on ABC 7 News. His name is Kent Edwards.
Yeah.
So, could be. But y'all make sure you smash up the likes. Let's get into the major news that we want to talk about. Something else going on in New York. You all saw the video there. Jury deliberations are now underway in the Jonathan Majors trial. As you all are aware, Majors is charged with domestic assault against his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari, who, for all intents and purposes, said that Jonathan Majors fractured her finger as well as nicked her behind the ear, which there was a cut. They had a doctor testify who treated her at the hospital. However, upon cross-examination, The doctor, I believe, even admitted that it didn't seem like it could have been consistent with a blow to the back of the head either. It couldn't have been. As well as Majors had his expert testify. They also showed video footage, surveillance footage of Majors and Jabari both inside the cab and also out where she chased him for 5 blocks. And Shawn, I think we have video footage of it now, and I'm going to play that right quick so everybody can see this. This is actual footage we have of Jonathan Majors running from Grace Jabari right there. Jelly. No, in actuality, this is the footage that they have of Jonathan Majors. Well, I get it. Can I get a copyright strike with DMZ?
No, that's fair use. Must be. I don't know what the TMZ.
Well, they'll do stuff, but I mean, if I have their icon or anything like that, if you play their audio, but this video has been in the public eye for months, years on end. We've seen it already. So, but I'll do this. This is courtesy of the new. I'm gonna share this one instead, just in case, because I've been getting some bogus copyright strikes already from playing my own music. So, and I get it set on automatic, but yeah. But here's the actual footage. So this is what happened, Shawn. So the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. You see that watermark at the top?
Yeah.
That tag. They had this information since March of this year. They've had to, because if there was an issue of domestic violence, and going off what she told the police, and I haven't seen the body camera footage. I've seen it, only bits and pieces of it from what was on the news, but I've never watched it at length. But the judge released all of that information today. They released all the evidence to the public. Now, this is the video footage, and we talked about that judge. So he apparently is trying to put her back in the car. And, he does grab her and he does push, obviously pushing her in. She's grabbing onto him. He's trying to leave. She's got a hold of his hand and he's jerking away. Now, this started because, remember, over the cell phone, right? So she snatched the cell phone out of his hand because she supposedly saw a text message from another woman, right? And that upset her. We also have the testimony of the Uber driver who testified in Major's behalf, who stated what he heard. And I don't want to get the man's name messed up, but he actually had to have an interpreter. Naveed Sarar. He testified that Majors wasn't doing anything and Jabari was doing everything, according to reports from People and Variety. This is courtesy of USA Today. So he was actually he actually said she's the one that started everything, right? Now watch this. So this is 1 minute and 5 seconds. Now, Jonathan Majors takes off like he's about to train for Creed 4. And she's following back. Now, shout out to Jonathan Majors. He's got to be, and now look, I don't know if y'all can tell, but those are some expensive shoes that brother is running in. He's doing a full 5 in Johnston Murphy's. He's and doing it without missing a beat. He is not out of breath. He is in better shape than me. Shout out to Jonathan. I know he's in shape, but he went 5 blocks. This happened for 5 blocks, Shawn. Now just keep watching. Now she's run right behind him. Like, hey, give me that black pipe. Like, it's the American Express. You can't go home without it. Once you go black, you don't go back. And he's trying to go back to black. That's why he's got what's up, old girl, Megan Good. Jonathan is running. Help me, black people, help me. That's crazy what was off of me. Help. Oh, come on, Johnny. Give me that good old black pipe.
Vitamin D.
That vitamin D. Pip, pip. I'll have it with some fish and chips. Now, look. He's still... He's running past the parking lot. Now, And I do, and this is jaywalking. Like
You run into the street and get away from her.
Yeah. Now, the prosecutors had that information for months. Now, you saw the video I played earlier from CBS. They asked the question and they said, why didn't Jonathan Majors testify? And can't that be used against him? You can tell that the reporting has always been biased. They're even calling for Jonathan Majors to be forced out of the Marvel universe. The thing with that is this. First and foremost, he does not have, and this is some legal advice, but I got to be careful. Well, shouldn't constitute legal advice. This is just my experience as an attorney, just knowing the law and knowing particularly the Constitution under the Fifth Amendment. A jury, when the judge gives the instructions, when the jury goes to deliberate, they cannot consider his refusal to testify as evidence of guilt. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. What that means is that I am not required to testify, even if it would help my behalf, and then you use it against me. He does not have to testify in this case. All right? So, Majors is running. Alexa, play Run, Run, Run by Jill Scott. I play Run, Forrest, Run, Forrest, Run by Juvenile. The Running Man. Jonathan Majors is trying to play Jesse Owens in a new biopic. That's why he was running. Because they cast him and who's the other one they cast in all the biopics? Well, it was the brother from it was Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, but yeah. But you can tell that the reporting is biased. Now, what everybody's talking about is the audio recording that was released where Jonathan Majors is telling his girlfriend, Jabari, to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. And so that has had people in uproar about it. But if you listen carefully, you understand what he's saying. Now, I must say, they had let in some text messages, even from 2022, which this recording, I believe, is from. And they're actually she secretly recorded this, by the way, Jabari. And so Majors is berating her for going out partying late at night. So listen to this.
I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is gonna be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No, you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, all that said, right? I'm not saying I'm a great man, I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, blah, blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine. I can take that. Fine.
All right, Sean. I want your opinion on this. Obviously, I think you have followed this case. You commented on it. I think you have a video about it before. Um, the jury is deliberating. We don't know what will happen if he is convicted. The maximum sentence for a charge like this is 1 year in prison because this was a misdemeanor, and honestly, it's something that could have been worked out beforehand. But it sounds like, in my opinion, the prosecutor wanted to make a case out of this because Jonathan Majors is a celebrity. But go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, this case really didn't need to go to trial. It was just bootlicking Alvin Bragg, looking to get brownie points and looking to try to make his name on destroying Jonathan Majors' reputation. It's very similar to the maniac who wanted to destroy Bill Cosby, Kevin Steele, and that this was a prosecutor just looking to get some clout on his name. And this whole case basically proves an old adage: you can't change a 304 into a housewife. And Jonathan Majors' major mistake was trying to elevate Grace Jabari when Grace Jabari clearly was not the woman for him as related to his business. Now, Grace Jabari basically was one of these chicks who loves to run the streets and liked to get drunk, but Jonathan Majors didn't have the seasoning or experience that a man like I have regarding women to say, okay, I see that this woman is like this, I just need to charge her to the game. No, what he tried to do was try to shoehorn this woman into his life and tried to think that she could be like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King, which really shows me that Jonathan Majors is a little Arkham certified, because a white woman from England is not going to understand the issues a black man from America has, like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama did, because Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King are black women who understand the system of white supremacy and racism. But Jonathan Majors, he's had some issues as related to black women. And he thought, oh, I'll get this white woman and it will be better. But this white woman basically proved to be just as ratchet as everything he's experienced as related to black women, because she's basically embarrassed Jonathan Majors at this point, and embarrassed him to the point where she had him running the streets to get away from her. I mean, this dude basically was made to look really bad in this whole situation. But this whole incident basically shows me that there was no actual assault, because if this woman were assaulted and was in fear for her life, as this prosecutor is alleging, then she wouldn't be running 5 blocks after this man. And who runs 5 blocks after an abuser? Critical question defense, I hope, asks as related to this case, because that whole video basically shows Grace Jabari was in no danger as related to Jonathan Majors, as related to this so-called assault, and more importantly shows that she was the instigator of the incident. Compound this with the driver testimony, who was an objective witness, and you have a clear open and shut case, as I see it, that clears and absolves Jonathan Majors of any wrongdoing. And this whole case, as I see it, again, never should have gone to trial at all. No, this just shows us how incompetent Alvin Bragg truly is, that he's more interested in clout rather than trying to prosecute people like the shoplifters who are just terrorizing New York City businesses, or many of the other criminals that destroy the quality of life here in New York City. He's decided to chase celebrities and celebrity clout rather than deal with actual criminals. And that's the thing that I believe in 2025 they need to call Alvin Bragg out on, because this whole case against Jonathan Majors is absolutely just asinine, and has really cost the city a lot of money on a trial that never should have been for a domestic violence incident that did not happen, because it was Grace Jabari who clearly instigated this incident. And this incident, it proves a lesson that I've said about these white women, that if you get involved with them, chances are it's your word against hers, and 99 times out of 10, white supremacy is going to believe her over you. And you have these guys calling themselves the save yourself black men. Well, I'm going to take a page from Mad Black 80's video today and ask the question, who's going to save this black man from white supremacy? Because that's a question I asked a long time ago in a video that I couldn't even put up on YouTube because of the stalking I got from these passport bros and these SYSBM black men, who oftentimes go out here and say, oh, you need to get away from this black woman. You need to save yourself, black man, by getting yourself one of these white or foreign women. Well, Grace Jabari basically proves the point that I made in a video I can't even put on the air, is who's going to save you from the system of white supremacy? Because who's going to save Jonathan Majors from the system of white supremacy? Because that's what Grace Jabari used to bring the hammer down on Jonathan Majors when she couldn't get her way in this relationship, and she saw that Jonathan Majors was basically going to possibly find a replacement for her. That's when she decided to go out here and throw this tantrum. And that's what I believe she did, was throw a tantrum by going out here and attacking him, chasing him. And then when she couldn't get her way, went out here drinking on his credit card, and then went back into his closet and threw this tantrum where she made it look like she was basically passed out in his closet. I mean, everything here basically shows me that the black man needs to be saved from the dysfunction he learns from other black men as related to thinking these women are an option, because these women are basically the supporters of white supremacy. And that's what Grace Jabari did after she couldn't get away with Jonathan Majors. She teamed up with white supremacy to destroy Jonathan Majors' career. And that's what happened with this whole case with Jonathan Majors. Now he's on the run, and sadly, he's got no support from the black community, and he did it to himself.
Well, Jonathan Majors, let me say this. Jonathan Majors, and that's Grace Jabari right there. She wasn't worth it, the time and headache, and the fact that they rented an apartment together. But my thing with it is, first off, I think what he was trying to say with her when they mentioned Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama is, I don't think he was trying to equate her with a black woman or black issues, but he was highlighting a woman of class and how someone would carry themselves. And that was my thinking from what that was my.
She had no class at all.
Well,
that was just a white female hood rat.
He obviously, well, hey, he liked her. He obviously wanted to be with her at the time he did this, so that's why he said that. But the fact that she has mental issues, apparently, he found her, and let's not forget, he found her passed out in the apartment. When he went back, he couldn't get in. They had to have a handyman let him in. He calls 911 because he finds her unresponsive. He does everything to try and make sure she's resuscitated and so forth. And only when the cops come in and they see, obviously, the injuries to her finger and head, and she starts blabbing on the mouth, that's when they make the arrest on it. And these DV cases, they're the toughest thing to defend sometimes, especially here in the South and Louisiana, but they're also the most tedious and frivolous, because just pushing someone, grabbing someone would be enough to constitute as a domestic abuse battery. Now, you wouldn't think something as petty, that sounds very petty, which it is, but that's the truth. And they have been more, prosecutors in particular here in the state have been more adamant. They've been told by their bosses to execute these and prosecute these even more. I've had a case representing an 89-year-old man that I actually had to defend for allegedly putting his hands on his wife, but with his 85-year-old wife, which in actuality, he was never meant any malice to her. He was trying to save her life because she's running around, going to the apartment, out of the apartment and stuff, and she's on beta blockers, and she's also drinking. So he's trying to save her life. He checks her pulse, but the neighbors downstairs think he's putting hands on her. No, he's trying to save her life. And the man had nothing, not even a parking ticket. But I argued this point with the DA, but they're adamant. Now they amended it later, and that's another story. I'm not going to get down that, but that's just the mindset, I tell you, and the tough battle that defense attorneys have to deal with some of these DV cases. So you got to just hold your cards and fight. And I've been paying attention to this. I think he is six jurors. I think 3 men, 3 women. I'm confident he's going to walk away not guilty. I don't see him doing jail time for this. If it is, it's a shame, and he's definitely got appealable issues to me. I'd appeal it if it got to that point.
Yeah, I would too.
Y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. ladies and gentlemen. Hit that notification bell, hit that like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you all, if you love me and you like my time, then pay me for my time. Drop something in the Cash App, a little Christmas gift. Speaking of Christmas, I got my Christmas tie on for y'all. I got penguins on here with Santa hats, so I'm all in the Christmas spirit. Or as I call them, these are Christmas chickens. That's what I think of penguins. They're Christmas chickens. It's ice cold chicken. So, woo! All right. I thought that was cute. Anyway, I didn't have too much. I got two topics I want to talk in real quick. Shout out to you, Cheryl Macy. Thank you. Couldn't she have refused to press, oh, I got penguins on here charges? Cheryl, you using the keyboard wrong. You using the you texting with the voice again. It garbled up your text message. The text message got garbled by you speaking. What's going on, babe? Uh, I think I know what you're saying. Could she have refused to press charges? Typically, no. It's not. See, there's no. Even if she doesn't want to press charges, there's a misnomer. The state doesn't care is the one who presses the charges. When someone says I don't want to press charges, what they're essentially saying is I don't want to cooperate with the state. Well, if the state had enough evidence when a probable cause, the moment they saw something, they can bring the charges, and that has happened. Even if the victim doesn't choose to the alleged victim doesn't want to testify. Now, I've always countered that because Sixth Amendment of the Constitution guarantees you a right to confront your accuser. You have a right to ask questions. But they have, and I've seen them put on cases even without the accuser coming to court. So, long answer, no, they don't need her to press the charges, but it would be helpful. But it is what it is. All right. This disturbed me. Now, you guys may remember 3 years ago, we talked about this little boy out in this is in Mississippi. A young boy by the name of Quantavious Easton was arrested. How many remember this story?
Speechless right now because, for one, I can't believe it happened. Like, why would you arrest a 10-year-old kid?
Last Thursday, LaTanya Eason.
FYI, the mom is wearing a Hope Breast Cancer Awareness t-shirt, and she definitely got the breast for that awareness. Damn.
Stopped by a Senatobia attorney's office for legal advice. She says
Like
within as
Elvis.
little as 10 minutes, a police officer interrupted her meeting. He caught her 10-year-old son, Quantavious Eason, urinating behind her car.
I was like, son, why did you do that? He said, Mom, my sister said they ain't got a bathroom in there. I was like, well, you knew better. You should have came and asked me if they had a restroom. So he was like, since you had it like a mom, then he could just get back in the car.
But Eason says things quickly took a turn for the worse when several more police cruisers pulled up.
Another officer came over there and was like, your son got to get out of the car. He got to be arrested because he can't do that.
I started like crying a little bit, and they had like took me down there, and they got me out the truck, and I wouldn't knowing what was happening.
Quantavious says they held him in a jail cell, and his mom says they charged him with child in need of services, then released him to her.
That could really traumatize my baby. My baby could get to the point where he don't want to have a counting with police, period.
I get scared, start shaking, and thinking I'm going to jail.
So they put this kid in jail. Oh, y'all know that's real. That girl, she could feed all of the Horn of Africa with them titties. Just boom. She unleashed that bra, it'd be like airbags popping out. Shawn just gave me the look. That's right, Shawn. I know you want to motorboat.
I don't know about that.
Now, that's not a motorboat. That's a cruise ship. That's the Carnival. I'm just messing. Y'all know I'm an attorney, but I can act a damn fool too. I was a comedian first. Remember, don't forget that. But in serious talk, they arrested this boy for public urination. And to be honest, this is something a lot of kids have done in the past, and will and likely continue to do when they can't use the bathroom and they gotta go, you know, I go behind the wall or go somewhere where nobody can see you. But this cop they actually arrested him. And remember, the chief of police for that area came out and said he shouldn't have gone to jail. That shouldn't have happened. He apologized for that. He called it an error in judgment. This was the chief. Now, this is up in Senatobia, which is just south of Memphis. So he released a statement, Police Chief Richard Chandler, about it. Now, he called it an error in judgment, saying that they shouldn't have done that. But I bring this up today because there was a latest development from this story after 3 months. A judge in juvenile court has sentenced this kid to 3 months probation, and he has to write a written report on Kobe Bryant as part of his punishment. I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen. They actually did this to this child. Yes, I know the letter of the law about public urination, indecent exposure, yes, but this is a 10-year-old. This is a 10-year-old. This is what they did. They put him in the back of a squad car, this little black boy. Now, that's his attorney. That's his mama. We can tell right here. And I want to play this video for everybody. Listen to
courtroom Tuesday after the 11-year-old Eason and his family sat in a Senatobia courtroom Tuesday after the 11-year-old was seen relieving himself in a parking lot back in August. Carlos Moore represents the Eason family. He says this whole ordeal has made Quintavious not trust the police.
He did not plead guilty to anything. He was not found guilty of anything, but it's an informal adjustment probation.
Back in August,
informal adjustment probation. Now, I haven't heard of that. Now, typically, you either adjudicate it or you're found guilty. Sometimes you can take plea agreements, and the attorney said they didn't agree to anything. Am I right? Did I hear that correctly? Let me see.
Not found guilty of anything, but it's an informal adjustment probation.
He says this whole back in August. Carlos Moore represents the Eason family. He says this whole ordeal has made Quintavious not trust the police.
He did not plead guilty to anything. He was not found guilty of anything, but it's an informal adjustment probation.
Back in August, the then 10-year-old was with his mother at this attorney's office. Moore said the boy needed to use the restroom, but the office did not have public restrooms. Eason used the restroom near his mother's car when a Senatobia police officer spotted him. Officers put Eason in a squad car and took the child to the police station.
People that he should trust, protect, and serve, he doesn't feel that they treated him fairly and that he would get a fair shake in life through the police or the justice system.
Moore says the Eason family is distraught about how a judge or prosecutor could issue probation to an 11-year-old for doing something so many others have done.
I think that it is unreasonable that a 10-year-old would be arrested for doing something I did as a child growing up in Mississippi, and I'm a successful attorney and a judge in Clarksdale and Grenada. So it's not criminal. He should have never been in contact with the juvenile justice system for simply urinating discreetly.
Others question the motives behind the entire ordeal.
Black boys are demonized or criminalized from a young age. Had he been a little white boy urinating discreetly, he would have never been arrested.
Eason must serve 3 months probation and has to check in every month with his mother with a judge. He's also required to write a 2-page report about his favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant.
Take this to the highest heights. We're going to file it in federal court, and we're going to fight for justice, and they are going to pay this family for what they have endured.
Tavarius Haywood, Action News 5.
Today we're
You're covered in water and you don't believe you're wet. I'm worried about supporting this case, is what I was saying, because the mother is stating she doesn't believe it's racial. You see that? She said she said she doesn't believe her son's skin color influenced his arrest and the decisions made by prosecutors and a judge in court. However, she said her son has been mistreated every step of the way. So what the hell is it? What do you think it is? He likes Pokemon and they don't? Come on. This is a 10-year-old. This is something we did, I mean, as kids. This is like standing this is like going swimming in the Mississippi fighting against the current, but saying you're not drowning. You go to the hospital and the doctor says you're having a heart attack. You say, oh no, it's just indigestion. This is all racial, ma'am. Even, I don't know what it is with some of our women, but I remember when the young brother, remember the brother who rang the doorbell and got shot at by that white supremacist? He shot the gun at him, the shotgun, and he got found guilty. The mama even said she didn't think it was racial in that. What? I don't get it. And these are people who are around at least in the 70s and 80s and are aware. I don't know how old this mother is, but they've got to be aware of their surroundings, especially when you're in Mississippi, of all places. Emmett Till, Medgar Evers, James Meredith, the 3 civil rights workers. Come on. Shawn, go ahead.
This mother has to be Arkham certified if she doesn't believe that this is racial. Clearly, this officer was looking to send a message and look to emasculate, humiliate, and break down this black boy over this so-called offense, because this whole incident was one that didn't even need to lead into any sort of criminal action. And it's something that, while some people may be offended by it, really didn't need to take legal action for. And it's basically, again, a whole case of looking to humiliate and emasculate a black boy and put him in this so-called place. But if this mother doesn't see what's going on, then I have to say there's something clearly wrong with her, because clearly this was a case of emasculating a black boy, looking to send a message to him that he needs to be afraid of white people and afraid of the rules that white people make. So this is where I see the problem is with this case. I mean, yes, there's something did happen here about humiliating this black boy, but what's more humiliating is his mother saying, oh, it's not racial. And if it's not racial, that's the problem that shows that she needs the straitjacket. Now, I'm going to go on the same page as Professor Black Truth and Mr. Superboy on this one, in saying that, you know, whatever, when it comes to people like this, whatever happens to them, because you cannot fight for injustice for those who don't want to see injustice. And for those kind of people, yeah, you got to leave them right where you find them. The sad part is that this 10-year-old boy is the one that's losing in this whole situation because he's clearly the victim of racial profiling here by this cop who wanted to humiliate and break down and emasculate a black boy. But what's even sadder is that he's got a mother who's completely clueless because she drinks the poison Kool-Aid that tells her that there's a rainbow when he's clearly got an enemy in white supremacy and nobody there to teach him about where the real enemy is, whether it be his mother or whether it be the system of white supremacy. I know it's the system of white supremacy, but it's even worse are these women like this who just live in their own world and don't see the realities that are dangerous to a black boy. And the way she's regarding this whole situation is basically putting this boy on the road to becoming a man in crisis.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him to go through
Yeah,
that. And I think they said they are going to appeal it, which is good.
Yeah.
They said he's going to take it out of federal court, which is even better, because at least federal court is in the 21st century. There are no state courts, and I've never been in a state court in Mississippi. Don't have any intention to. Now, that's not to say that you don't go through anything in federal court, racism or nothing like that, because you certainly do. But at least they're a little bit better.
Especially on cases like this. Even the sheriff was saying there was something wrong with this.
Right. The sheriff. Well, here's the thing: if the sheriff said that, why didn't he dismiss it?
That's what I'm wondering.
Why didn't
That's why I said there's a fix. That's why they said there was a fix.
The prosecutors could have dismissed it.
Yeah, they could have all dismissed it because it was a stupid case. But they chose to do this to humiliate this boy and break him down.
The victim is the state for peeing on the sidewalk.
Yeah. But they do this kind of stuff to humiliate and break down black boys. Whenever they see a black boy, they want to try to humiliate him.
Yeah. Well, y'all know that even with the brother that was shot by Hannah Payne, and she was convicted actually, their family came out, and even they had one friend that came out and said, "Oh, it ain't racial. Hannah not racist." Yeah, the family of Kenneth Aaron, the man that was shot by that woman out in Georgia, they said this. Hold on, let me play this right quick.
It was hard to. It's easy to say race. You know, it's real easy because you have a black victim and a white perpetrator. But that's too easy. We had to go down into the depth of the evidence and really dig it out. And it seemed like race played a part in it. And we didn't.
Just say no comment when you're talking to the media on that aspect that they ask you if it was about race. If you're not sure,
I trivialize
no comment.
Mr. Herring's death. You know, this was somebody.
Or yes, I think so. I believe.
Had the audacity to think that she could make someone do something that wasn't within her power.
It's been long and arduous. It was hard on my family. It's been over 5 years. I had to come for every court appearance. I was here to hear her incessant wailing as if she had been shot. And after 5 years, I believe the case was presented as it happened. The state did its job, and the jurors did their job.
I'm not gonna play all. I wasn't gonna play all that. I don't know what she was gonna say.
What does it say that they came back so quickly, just over 2 hours?
To me, that said that the state did its job. The evidence was there.
But it also says something about the jury, that they did not buy her claims of self-defense and that he attacked and shot himself.
Exactly.
How is that? I mean, for them to bring forth that type of defense, what did you think about that?
I think it's selfish to blame the victim when you're here.
Let me stop there. Yeah, but guys, if you don't know, just say no comment. Or I believe. Anyway, hit that like, share, and subscribe button once more, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, if you like me for my time, pay me for my time. We're almost done. I have one last topic. This is actually a little bit fun. We talk about moms especially. Now, a little boy who is a social media superstar, actually he's from my hometown, Lil James. his mom, they were at a prom together. I think it's the Bad Kids Prom. You've heard of this before, Shawn? Shawn, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
I asked, have you ever heard of the Bad Kids Prom?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of Bad Kids Prom. This would be a new thing. I
Well,
come from a different era.
yeah, well, it's a thing for kids, I believe, who are on social media, who have, I've seen some of these kids, like from the Trench family and uh, Funny Mike, his daughter. They go there basically. These YouTube stars. It's a program for them. It's an event for them. And Lil James is from New Orleans, actually, and this is his mom. They play the music, but this is his mom. His mom was caught twerking it up for another YouTuber, and he got there just in time before Pound Town came on. But this was it here. So she's twerking on him at the ball in her gown, and a little boy comes up to stop her from being on this guy's enchilada, and so he pushes him away, and he's trying to apologize to him. It's funny. And people have been commenting saying, when you found out, this is an example, when you found out your mom is for the streets. And she's smiling. She is amused by it, but little James is not. And yeah, I will say this much. I don't follow Little James. His name is James Tucker, by the way. And actually, he was upset about it. And his mom actually responded, it looks like, on TikTok. Okay, so no, it's not his mom that's responding. So I was trying to see if his mom had responded to it, but he obviously has more sense than some of the adults there. Let's say that. And if this were an event for kids, maybe it's not maybe it's not the place to do that. But he obviously, clearly he's obviously was upset about it. This is an event for them, right? I think this is an event for them. So he was upset about it. Obviously, his mom doing that type of stuff while while he's at an event for him and fellow kids, it probably wasn't the right thing for her to do. I'm trying to see how many Lil James. So how many? Lil James Tucker. So he's 10 years old. So he has a huge personality. He has 1.2 million followers. So he's known to post funny stuff. That's his mom, so that's his mom there. I'm sorry, I can't click on it without logging in. I'm trying to see who the dude was here, but this was a fellow YouTuber. What do you think of this, Shawn? Because this is something that's right up your alley.
Well, it sounds like to me that this boy had more respect for his mother than his mother had respect for herself. And you would think a mother would look to try to conduct herself in a respectful way so that her son can see her as someone he needs to respect the authority of and reverence and honor. Unfortunately, this mother was out here dropping it like it's hot and shaking it like she needed to make it on at a event where her son was. And it's sad that the boy had more regard for his mother's dignity than she had for her own. That's the sad part about this whole story, because this is what a son is supposed to do for his mother, try to protect her reputation and protect her image. But what's even sad about this whole situation is mom wasn't looking out for her image and was acting like she was in the streets where it's like a hood rat. And sadly, this mother basically showed that she was for the streets, because this kind of behavior was just completely out of pocket and out of line. And it's sad that this boy had to step up like a man to look out for his mom, when it's clear to me that if there was a man there, he would have definitely checked his mom for, not the mother, but the woman, for acting out, because that would have reflected badly on him. And she reflected badly on everyone here, basically showing that she was just a bad mother. And that's basically why they were at this bad kid's prom, where she was shaking her booty, because she's a bad mom, and basically just one of these dysfunctional mothers who has basically got her son on the road to becoming a man in crisis. Because if a son got to go out here and protect his mom as related to ratchet behavior, then it shows that this boy is in a bad place. And it's a bad place because his mother has a low moral position, and that's taking the family in a bad direction towards dysfunction.
The YouTuber by the way, who was on his mom was running. Well, I should say his mom was grinding on him. Look, I've been young too. I've had girls grind up on me back in the day when they would start popping. That's the thing that they do. They still do that. Depending on, but apparently, they were playing the music there. I get it, but it's an event for kids.
It's not appropriate to do that there.
It's an event for kids. Is it right to do that? But I mean, look, man, I just saw it. Look, maybe I was wrong if that was just a short woman, but I saw a little girl, had to be a teenager, that was dancing to it just provocatively, just like that.
That shows you her family's messed up too.
Yeah. And yeah, we know you wouldn't come out there like that. You have on an 1890s dress. You come out there dancing appropriately. Wait till they cue the violins. But yeah, I did feel sorry for him, because and it's been watched by 60 million people, by the way, on Twitter, or X, I should say. So Runnick was the guy, and he posted a video, I guess, which is a follow-up from this, and you know what? This actually could be. So wait, so this is the video. I don't want to share it. If I share it, they may get me. But the little boy actually showed up to the guy's house, apparently. Hold on, let me see. Can y'all see?
I can see.
So I'm glad I saw this, because now it looks like this thing could have been scripted. They made a video, or they took something like this and made a video out of it and collaborated. Now they're gonna get more views. I don't know. Either way, I was laughing my ass off when I saw it. But yeah, Shawn, that's I wanted to talk about that because that seemed like something about women in crisis and the man crisis. It seemed like why 75% of black women are single. Something you would write.
Yeah, that's definitely another reason why.
By the way, just curious, have you ever gotten a lot of negative feedback from that book?
In the beginning, I did, but then it started to become more positive as more people saw the truth about it. Both men and women started seeing the truth about that book and everything I put into it regarding why so many black women are single, because once you see the facts, there's no way you can challenge it.
Yeah. All right. y'all make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to roll up out of here. We had a great live stream. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you get the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby on Kindle. And shout out to Cece, Danielle, Gigi Cakes, Emperor X. Why we got just 13 people in here, man? I thought we would have more on a Thursday.
You know, I've had slow nights myself.
It's YouTube doing something, huh?
Yeah.
So Shawn, let me just ask you if you're familiar when you say shadow ban. How do you know how they do that with the algorithm, in particular?
Well, they just downplay your channel and make it where it doesn't come up in people's feeds. So that's how they shadow ban you, so that you cannot really get your message out there.
Yeah. So they just downplay it.
Yeah.
They
Now, if you
block.
put up a bunch of gender war content or some other content, they'll push you up. But if you put up a lot of content that is not what they want, what the algorithm will do is downplay you and make it where you don't appear on the sidebars or other places where people will click on the content. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's been happening a lot. All right, Shawn, do you know what your live stream will be about tomorrow?
It's going to be about how there are no friends in business.
That's
going to be a workplace live stream.
That's right. That's a good one. At any rate, y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I gotta roll out in a second, but I'm grateful we had Shawn James in, author of The Man Crisis, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next week. I will be back Sunday, probably doing a live stream. Shawn, I appreciate it as always.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, y'all. And this has been another exciting edition of Random Topic Thursdays. If you're not new to this channel, then make sure you hit that like, share, or subscribe button and a notification bell again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll out. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace. Good night, guys.